All right, Unit 3, Day 10, we're going to be graphing linear inequalities. So let's buckle up and get going right away. We're going to be looking at, I can graph a inequality with two variables. We're going to be using something that's called a boundary line. That's a line that splits the graph into two pieces. Just as a reminder that you could have a dash line that would be an inequality that is either less than or greater than, or you could have a solid line, and that would be a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. All right, the solid line means it includes it, it's equal to. The dash line means it's everything up to the line but not including it. And there's also a different idea with the boundary line, is that the boundary will cut the thing in two halves when there'll be a true side, that everything on that side will be true, and then there'll be a false side where everything on the other side will be false. And it can be reversed. It could be false on one side and true on the bottom too. So let's just keep that in mind. The half plane is the two sections made up of the boundary, and again you're looking at a true side on one side and a false side on the other. So graphing linear inequalities, the first, graph the line using the slope and the y-intercept, the b value. So using it, if it is of the form of y equals mx plus b, starting at the b and then doing the slope rise over run is usually the best way of looking at it. So anyways, just as a recap, second, decide if the line is solid or it's a dash line. So again, it's solid if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, and it's a dash line if it's just less than or greater than. And as a reminder, true means that side is shaded. True means that's going to be the shaded side, and the false side will be the side that is not shaded. So let's look at this one here. We have a slope. Now remember, it is looking of the form y equals mx plus b, where the slope looks like it's -1. And you can make that into a fraction. And remember, rise over run is down 1, right 1. Down because it's negative, right because the bottom is positive. And the y-intercept is the b value, and b equals 3. That's where you're going to start. And also answer your question, is it going to be a solid or dash line? Since it's just less than, it is going to be a dash line. So let's graph that one starting at 3. And my slope is down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, like so. And it's a dash line, so let's connect it with a dash line. Arrows at the end of your extension. And we're going to test a point. Now we're going to test a point to determine which side is true and which side is false. If you can test anything over here that's true, then it would all be shaded. Or if the other side is true, you'd shade that side. So I'm going to always test 0, 0. All right, when I can. If 0, 0 was part of that dash line, then I couldn't test it. So I'm going to try 0, 0. So testing 0, 0. Meaning I'm going to put 0 into that original equation. So it'll be 0 in for y, less than, minus 0 in for x, plus 3. See if that's true or false. So 0, clean it up a little bit. Minus 0 plus 3, it's 0 smaller than 3. 0 is smaller than 3, that's a true statement. That means I'm going to put a big old T right here next to that true statement. And since I have a true statement here, that makes the other side false, and I always shade the true side. So just shade this side. That means any point in that shaded region will make the original equation, it'll make the original equation also true. So everything that is shaded is with the 0, 0, and that side was true. All right, let's do a few more. We have a slope of 3 halves, which means up 3, positive, right 3, because it's positive. Slope intercept of 4, so we're going to start at 4 and go up 3, right 2, and it will be a solid line, because it is equal to. So we start at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, put a dot, go up 1, 2, 3 over 2, You can go up 3 more, 1, 2, 3, over 2. Solid line going through those points and beyond. And I like to fill up the entire graph at this point. Arrows at the end. I'm going to choose, again, I'm going to choose 0, 0 because it is not on that graph. And if it's true, then you shade the true side. If it's false, if this side is false, then that side must be true. So let's try 0, 0. So putting 0 in for y, 0 in for x, so 3/2 times 0, and then plus 4. So that's going to be 0 less than or equal to 0 plus 4, and that's going to be 0 greater than or equal to 4. That's actually a false statement. 0 is not bigger than 4, so it's false. That makes, I'm going to put a big old F right there for representing false. That means everything on this side is false. And since that line divides the true side from the false side, if this side is false, that makes this side the true side. And so I'll shade the true side. Like so. And the last one, I'm going to graph that. Now that one's a little bit tougher. I'm actually going to be looking at it as 2x plus 3y equals 6. I'm going to subtract 2x to both sides. And so we will have 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. And then divide by 3. That's dividing everything by 3. So it's going to be y equals negative 2/3 plus 2. Where the slope is going to be, I forgot the x, didn't I? Plus 2. Where the slope is negative 2/3, that means down 2, right 3. The y-intercept is 2, so b equals 2. That's where I start. And the original was a less than or equal to. That's a solid line. So let's graph that. Start at 2, put a dot. Oops, I should be in blue. Put a dot at 2, and the slope is down 2, right 3, down 2, right 3. Solid line, like so. Extend it with arrows. I'm going to test a point that's not on it, and again, I always test 0, 0 when I can. So I'm going to test 0, 0. That means from the original, put 0 in for x, 0 in for y, and I'll get 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 6. 0 plus 0 is 0 less than or equal to 6. That is a true statement. Since the 0, 0 is a true statement, I'll put a little t here, and that means everything on the same side is true. That means this side is false. So true side, false side, shade the true side. All right, for your summary. All right, find out if it's a solid line or a dash. Again, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. Find the slope and your y-intercept. Graph it. Test point 0, 0 if you can. And put 0, 0 back into the original. And then shade the true side. Like so. All right, there you go.